Okay, so let's get it. I'll just go with the intro. So yeah, welcome to another episode of the Penspinning Podcast. Today I'm with the greatest pen modder, Vore-Tex.
Hello.
Hey, hi. And as you can guess, we'll talk about pen modding. So what's your aim when you're making mods? How did it even started?
It really depends for who I make pen mod. If I want to make pen mod for myself or just a commission,
Oh, okay.
if
So
I make,
when you make it for yourself,
yeah,
what
if I
do you
make pen mod
mostly
for
look for?
myself, if I make pen mod for myself, it's more like I found out an idea, original structure, and I try to make the pen mod, make the specs, like the length and the weight for my spinning. But if this is for a commission, like a spinner want to get a customized pen mod, I would try to try to understand what he really needs, what kind of pen mod he like first, so I can get inspired. Like, for example, some years ago, I made a hybrid between Ivan mode and Menua mode.
Oh, yeah.
Golden
For
scale.
Golem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I just take the length and the weight and the weight distribution, and I try to mix it together.
Yeah, and that was nice.
After this, I try to make some adjustments to make it like the perfect balance between the different length and weight. So at the first is more like a theory thinking, and after I just have to adjust and check. Yeah. I hope
Okay, so it was this theoretical thinking in the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. And was it the first draft, or did you just experiment, change stuff?
The very beginning of my work.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this Ivan Manoa hybrid.
Yeah.
Was it like you thought of this and you made it, or were you experimenting, changing some stuff?
I don't really remember. I think I just tried to make the concept of Menua mode.
Yeah.
Inverted DC with a lens of Ivan. It does this. That's
Okay.
very simple.
I mean, I was thinking about this, were you changing stuff after you made it, or you just thought of this and you made it and it was finished?
Yeah, I think it just was finished.
Oh, okay.
Because the concept was very simple.
Okay. And the concepts are more complex. Do you experiment much?
The need for Golem Skate was very simple, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I feel
that's cool that it was just tailored for him.
Like for Isaac, the pen mod of Isaac, I feel is a little bit more complex because the weight distribution is not as easy to create.
Okay.
Because the weight is more diffuse on all the cap.
Huh? Not that concentrated,
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And for Ivan or Minowa's mode, the weight is a very small space at the end of the caps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And if you're making mods for people who just look and they're spinning their mods, and when you make mods for yourself, I remember you saying something like you don't want to spin mods that look too well, and you make different mods for spinning and different mods to just make them for collection, right?
Yeah. I will make pen mods for collection with a nice aesthetic.
Yeah.
For pen mod for spin, I won't really focus on aesthetic. I try to focus more on the weight distribution and what I really like.
Okay, for spinning more.
Like the one, I think the pen mod who really describe my spinning style is about my VT-KT.
Oh, okay. I remember only this VT console. But
so it's a kind of KT with a very long spinning area and a medium weight KT.
Oh, okay. What parts you used for this?
Sorry?
What parts did you use for this? Or is it secret?
The secret?
I mean, what is the construction secret, or what parts did you use?
No, the tutorial is on my website.
Oh, okay. So I had to miss it, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay then. Cool. I mean, you made so many mods that if you want to make a mod for a spinner, you just know what to look for.
I think.
And actually, I had a question from Hobby.
Yeah.
For you. What's the precision that makes the difference for a spinner? I mean, how much weight do you have to add so that spinner will see the difference?
I will take the example about column skate again.
Okay.
And ask me to make a second version of the Ivan Menova mod hybrid, and he told me that he can feel 1 millimeter difference about the length.
Oh, okay.
2 millimeters, and about the weight, I think I'm not an expert, but I think.
Well, you are.
I mean about the feeling about the weight. I think is very, very. I would take an example about MX. Other MX are different, and even if you use AGG tips and grips, you will feel different about the feeling and about the weight, even if the weight is almost the same. So I think it's a very complex question.
Oh yeah, actually in the MX, HGG tip does so much and it's so light.
Yeah.
Like it's 0.3 grams, something like that.
Yeah, the more and more this light, the more we can feel the difference.
Yeah, definitely. But what if, I mean, okay, yeah, so it would just depend on the weight.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, so like, yeah, it's hard to tell, like 1% of weight or how.
I actually
how
don't
would
know.
You estimate how much weight to add so it actually makes a difference?
I think 0.2 gram.
Oh man. Okay.
I think we can feel it if we had like some
It's like half of a HGG.
Yeah, it's like text O-ring. Do you know the?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think this is enough to feel.
Okay. It's like, I think it's interesting because if you're making a double capped mod, then you can't make a perfectly balanced mod. I mean, one side, even if the sides are identical, one side will be a little bit heavier, but you don't feel it while spinning.
That's true.
Yeah, so like that was actually pretty interesting about this. Okay, so it's like half of the HGG to feel the difference.
I understand what you say. There are some people who feel this difference. I heard some people in FPSB who complain about the unbalance.
I mean in double capped or?
Yeah, the burger, yeah.
Wow.
Like Naomi, do you know?
Yeah,
her?
I know.
Sometimes
French
she's
Rising Star.
like,
She's
oh,
crazy for these 2 years.
my DC is unbalanced. I don't know why. For her
I don't
Menoir,
know.
yeah.
Okay, but it's a DC which is symmetrical, yeah, right? Same parts, both sides.
Yeah.
So that's weird. I mean, I felt it in my previous Isaac emboss actually. Like it was perfectly symmetrical, but it didn't feel like.
Yeah, I understand. I never get this feeling about my pen mods, about the unbalanced things.
Oh wow. So like, okay, so you just make it perfectly, and
Yeah,
that might be
sometimes
actually like
yeah.
you have this experience, and if you know how to make this mod, then it will feel balanced. So it might be actually because of maybe some errors in modding that people feel that their mods are unbalanced.
Can you repeat?
Like, so can it be that people feel that their DCs are unbalanced because they made something wrong while modding?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so maybe
When
that's
you,
because, yeah.
if a pen mod is very complex, with a very complex structure, if you're making it very bad, you can feel it.
Yeah, might. Okay, I mean, it might be because if you said that you don't feel this, then
That's
yeah.
why most of people think the most easy pen mod are the easiest to spin, because
Oh yeah,
you have almost no modification to do. Like
yeah. I mean,
maybe
yeah. Like if there's a little to do, it's a little to mess up. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, actually, that's interesting. Like, it's
I
are
think
those mods the simple mods better?
sorry.
Like, are those simpler mods better for beginners? I mean, actually, for everyone. Is it that this if the mod is so simple that you can't mess it up, so it is perfectly balanced because it's simple, then is it better for spinning?
If the beginner is making it, I think.
Okay. I mean, that's actually might be useful for people listening to this. Like, if you're starting, start with those simple modes, and they will just spin better.
I think when you start pen spinning, your need is very simple, so you don't really need a very complex pen mods such as
True though.
Wambos. It's a very complex pen mod, and beginners don't really need this, I think.
Yeah, I mean, actually, are complex pen mods that better in spinning? Like, if you're more advanced, do you feel that a spinner might need a more complex mod?
Yeah, I think it depends of what he want to do.
Okay.
What kind of style he wants.
I mean, yeah, it's so vague, but
I never thought about this actually.
okay. Like, can someone need more complex pen to just achieve something certain? Like, can actually more complex pen mods be so useful that a spinner will just spin better and it will be easier to execute some tricks? I mean, not even talking about power mods, because actually there are kind of example, like it's easier to do power tricks on longer mods.
Yeah. I think very complex structures pen mod is good because you can really adjust. Like
okay, like more to adjust, so you can make it for a certain spinner,
yeah.
Okay.
And it depends of your hand if you can get a habit about spinning a KT. I personally, I can't spin a KT because it's an awful pen for me.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
can't
it's all
spin a
about
KT.
preference.
That's why I create mine with a very precise structure, so I can adjust as much as I can the length and the weight. I think it's more about this. If you really need a very precise pen mod, it's better to get a very complex structure. But if it's fine for you to spin a KT, you don't really need a complex one.
Yeah. Okay, so it's like more about what pen mods do you spin all the time and make something similar, right?
Yeah.
So then, I mean, why do you need to make something similar instead of just making another KT?
I think I will take the most important part, similar, so the spinning area, the length, and maybe the weight, and I will just change the aesthetic and the structure, so I can feel different waist distribution, and I can change the barrel too, so I can get more grippy or more slippery.
Oh yeah. I mean, more grippy pens would be nice for beginners, for this infinity and stuff.
Like if you look at Menoa's pen mod, you will see that he's always creating the same. He has like a model for light medium pen mod and a model for heavy pen mod. And
actually, yeah, like it's similar. These grips are pretty similar in all his mods.
Yeah. For heavy pen mod, the length is more around 22 centimeters. And the weight is around 20 grams. And for the lightweight, medium weight is maybe 50 grams and 20 centimeters.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it's about spinners' preference and what they are used to. But it's interesting, yeah, like Menoa making all these mods and all of them are pretty similar.
Yeah.
So if you want to make a mod for him, you know what to get inspired from.
My inspiration, I try to look as many pen mods as possible. Not only from the best pen modders, but also very beginner. What I like when I do gathering is looking at very simple and very dirty pen mod who pen spinner just bought some pens at the local stores and they try the best. I don't know if you know this kind of pen mod. It's very, very ugly, but at the same time it looks very interesting.
I mean, yeah, it is, because it's usually if you make a mod, you just go to a modding store like Penwish or something, and you have this choice. And if you go to a local pen store, it's just you see what's there, you see what you can make a mod from, and you don't have this choice. Like, parts are given to you, and you have these parts, and you have to figure out something from this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Inspiration is at the same time from others and also from the shape of the parts. And I try to use as less as possible tape, because I feel the tape is, you can make anything with tape. But if you try to don't use tape and try to put things together to make a very nice structures, maybe like ST8 Gear from Menoa, he's not using any tape.
Actually, Yeah, this Minowa VGG or something, this Minowa ST. I know it's not the name for it, but it's this mod, yeah?
The STA gear is a pen mod use STA as barrel and some
okay.
pens. I think you can find it on YouTube. He made a YouTube tutorial.
Okay. I mean, that's like literally no tape.
There is no tape in this one yet.
Whoa. I mean, I need tape even in KT to just make the caps hold. But yeah, I mean, it's true because, well, yeah, like if you're not using, I mean, using tape is if your parts don't fit that well, you can fix it with tape, yeah. But if you don't use tape, the parts have to fit like exactly.
I think maybe Minowa, Wato, and Taiko. Taiko is from PSB.
Yeah,
I think
I know him.
one of my influencer pen modder.
Oh, like yeah, most of his modes are personal, right?
Yeah.
That's nice because he actually like makes modes for himself to spin and doesn't copy modes, but just makes personal what he needs, and he knows the best what he needs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but with this not using tape, it's just, I mean, it is interesting because like, have you made that many mods with just literally no tape?
You mean me or them?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of my pen mods are using tape, but I try to use as less as tape as possible. I feel this is what makes pen modding funny, is to
Oh yeah, like
think very hard about a structure that doesn't use any tape.
yeah, it must be way harder. Like
Of
you don't
course,
have this option to fix this.
yeah, you will need a lot of parts and passion.
Yeah, a lot of parts. Actually, like I don't even want to ask how many parts you've got, because man, like what was the biggest order you made for pen modding?
Good question. There are lots.
Yeah, like I saw this 180 sailors or something.
Yeah, but it's just fakes. It's not very. I think I got them for 100 euro. It's not very. It can be a lot of people, but it's not so much for the amount. It's like 25 cents.
Oh,
Very
okay.
so very less.
Okay. I mean, your trip to Japan might be like biggest thing.
Yeah, when I went in Japan, I bought a lot. Maybe for I think at least 500 euros.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Like, did you come there just for modding, or was it, I mean, was it more of holidays and modding in between, or was it just a modding trip? And
Oh, what just no, it was not a modding trip. Just to see my girlfriend who was in Japan at this time.
oh, okay.
So I just take the opportunity to buy as many pens as I can, because I didn't know if I will come back in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty crazy. Like, I saw some of the stream when you were showing this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, this is a true pen modder. Like,
Yeah,
actually, Japanese pens are pretty cool for modding, and I am jealous.
we can be jealous, of course.
Like, I mean, I'm jealous of Japanese spinners who live there and have all these Dr. Grips, all these color twins and this stuff just in local stores.
Yeah, it's very amazing.
Yeah, like we have to order this from overseas, and they just have it locally.
Yeah, and they don't really take aware that they can get a lot of pens, but not in outside of Japan.
Yeah,
Outside of Japan, it's very hard to get this pen, but they don't
it
know.
is. Yeah, like Japan is like pen modding paradise, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's actually what was the best you got from this pen modding trip?
I found old embossers, and I think I was very happy to find it. Fun black old embossers and white with
Okay.
the Japanese writing, you know.
Oh, those ones, yeah. I guess I saw them somewhere.
Sorry?
I saw them somewhere.
Yeah. And one of the biggest surprise was about the Deizo, the 100 yen shop. So 100 yen is about $1, $1.
Oh, okay.
And you can buy a lot of pens for $1, and it's very €1. It's very amazing. Like a Signal.
Oh, okay.
TX Signal or
Signal DX, I guess.
yeah.
Kay sold it to me for about €1 actually.
Okay.
So yeah, it might be their normal price for this, which is crazy.
We can find a lot of pens there.
Oh, cool. I mean, yeah, it's just Japan. Okay. And actually, one more thing I was curious about is there a simple trick that beginners can use to make their mods look better? Like something they don't really know, but it's pretty simple?
I think I never thought about this question. Maybe trying to make a pen looking. I mean, I feel each pen mod looks like a pen, a regular pen. And when I see a beginner's pen mod, I don't really feel it looks like a pen. I don't know.
Does Isaac Emboss look like a pen?
Not really, but I'm not sure beginner will need an Isaac emboss. That's what I mean. I never thought about this question, how to make the pen mod, beginner's pen mod looks more like sexy. I think it's very hard. I don't know, actually. I think I don't really think about this question for beginners. I'm not enough into it.
Okay, like I was more about this.
The question is more for Coffee Lock. He's more making this kind of stuff, I think.
Oh, maybe actually, yeah. Like, yeah, I was just thinking about this. If you are making mods, there are some principles that you use each time you make a mod. And I mean, if you're making a mod, I guess you are just paying attention to certain things, like when you're cutting grapes, how you do it, this kind of stuff. Like,
yeah, we think Um, I try to pay attention about horse detail. Uh, I particularly loved when the colors is mostly about black and with some little coloring part.
Okay.
Like one of my last Minoa emboss mode with full black and the centers is white. This kind of trick.
Oh, okay.
I feel the aesthetic looks more sexy when I use most of black and with some coloring part, small coloring part.
I mean, it might be because I feel like my spinning looks way more stylish when I use black mods.
Yeah.
I don't know why is this because it just looks better. Even if I do same tricks, same hand movement. Black mods actually look better on camera. So yeah. That might be a trick, just use black bars.
Also, if I try to don't make a really, how can I say, a very dark pen mod, if I want to make very dark pen mod, it's because what I am interested in when I make a freestyle is more about the hand movement than the pen on itself.
Oh yeah, I mean, but I'm pretty sure that the visuals of pen mod and the pen color and setup can also contribute to someone's style, like a little bit, but still.
Do you remember
Should work.
about this I think Korean? I don't remember. Dongza.
Yeah.
With a very colorful pen mod and the threading effects very strong.
I mean, Dongza was from Thailand, or did I miss something?
I don't remember where he's from.
Okay.
Anyway, we don't really like this kind of style because we are more focused on the pen, but less on the hand movement, fingers movement.
Yeah. I mean, it's true that pen can influence a style too much, actually.
And on my side, I try to let people focus more about my hand and fingers movement, finger position.
Than on a pen. Yeah, it's logical, but actually, how would you abuse this? Like, how would you design a pen mod that will make your style better? Just looking better.
I think we need a ratio. I think we create a ratio between the body and the caps and the grip. I feel the body can't really be very thin and the cap very big.
Oh, okay.
I think one of those Chinese pen mod will start to produce some time ago. Maybe from Sanchu or Mr. Nope.
This from Nope, yeah. I mean, this from Nope that looked like this Minoa ST was. Yeah, this body was pretty thin and the cups were way bigger.
I feel these don't really show a very nice aesthetic on a pen mod.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, so just make it more balanced, like similar thickness of body and caps.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. And about colors, what would you say?
Colors. I advise people to use a chromatic color of colors.
Okay. Chromatic like.
Yes. Circle. And just have to take the opposite color. For example, orange with blue, red with blue too. It's not really opposite on a circle. It's more like you put a triangle, and the three sides is the same length. So
Oh,
you
okay.
see the yellow can be good with sky blue and pink, and the dark blue can be good with orange and green.
Okay.
This is what I did before to find out good color scheme. What can we use to? Maybe green and violet can be nice. I think we already saw like Watto. Watto did that.
Oh, okay.
Green with violet.
Okay, I mean, that might be pretty useful to just think more about. Actually, yeah, that was what I'm asking about. Like, if you're a beginner and you make a pen mod, you might focus on the colors you are using to make it look good.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty obvious, but not everyone thinks about it that much. I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, when I start pen modding, I was not very focused on this, and we can see. I don't know if you know him, Tech. He was from UPSB.
Yeah.
And at his beginning, the color scheme he used was not very sexy too. I mean, each beginner use like the same color scheme, not very.
Yeah, actually, beginners use either the same color scheme or the color schemes of the famous pen spinners, like everyone using Manoa schemes back in times.
Yeah, I think Manoa's color scheme can be very nice, but I feel beginners don't really think how to use pink, how to use sky blue, which part should be white, which part should be sky blue and pink, and you just put it randomly. And I think colors.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have to think about the colors. I think it's very important. Which part have to be white? Which part have to be black? I think
Yeah.
just not random.
Yeah, so it does need some more thinking even about colors. Like not only about construction itself, but even which part should be which color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you try Manoa VGG and you inverted all the colors, it doesn't look very sexy, very interesting.
Oh, like inverted colors like black body, white connector?
I mean, you'd use the black barrels and maybe white 30-degree grips and don't know. And
That might be nice actually.
yeah, it just depends. I think depend of people. I think I don't really like it personally.
It might. Okay. Okay, and actually I was curious also about this. Like, if you are thinking about a mod theoretically,
Yeah.
Okay, as you said, you're thinking about how a certain spinner makes their mods. You think about what they need, the weight distribution, but what other stuff do you just think about to make a pen mod for someone or even for yourself? Like, what's going on in your head when you're just trying to create those mods?
I think for this exercise, the pen modder have to be a polyvalent about the style. I think they have to know how to do some busts, some maybe spider spin, some. I think they have to know how to make as many tricks as possible. Not necessarily a combo, but I think the trick is very important to understand.
There's this different feeling of tricks.
Yeah, I think that's why Minowa is making this kind of mode, and that's why Highsuck is making this kind of mode. And I think for the different style, we will see pen spinner are using different kind of pen modes. Like when I made pen for Syrapop, for the World Tournament prizes in 2017. His style spinning is very focused on finger cross and this very hard link, and I felt the weight distribution have to be more on the barrel than on the extremities on the pen.
Oh, okay.
So, with a heavy barrel. So I feel we can define different kind of theoric pen mode model for different kind of style. And from this, we can find the first way to start to make pen mode.
Okay. So just looking for a style, yeah.
Yeah, and after this, just adjusting. And what I usually do is I ask the customer to give me as many details as possible. Because he about the spinning area, about the caps, about the which kind of grip he inverted tips, or just regular way of tipping the mode, which kind of diameters, this kind of stuff. And then from this, I try to take the theoric model pen mode and take what the customer says and try to make everything mix it up together.
Well, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. But you get all this data, what they preference, and yeah, you're a specialist. You know what to do with this to make pen mode for everyone. Because what I think is amazing is that you actually can make a pen mode that is tailored to a certain spinner. That's the skill. Okay, so what message would you leave for new beginning permoders?
We need a lot of patience, and we have to love. We have to love making things. I think it's most important. If you love making things, it will be fine.
Okay. Okay, sounds good to me.
And also, the only limit will be your imagination, I think.
Oh, it's true. I guess it's in every creative art.
Yeah.
So in pen modding as well, yeah.
Yeah, I think even in pen modding, the shape is already made by the factory, you always can take a cap and make a cut of this cap and sculpting something. I always consider that the cap of the pen is just like the wood of a tree, and you can make anything you want. It's not because the cap has this shape that you have to keep this shape.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so guess we can finish here. Thanks again for coming here.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. was very happy.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So yeah.
See ya.